So this month's experiment was intended to be budgeting, fiscal health, and then I took a detour along with the rest of the world due to a pandemic. So my food budget is off the chain, but I'm not spending a lot of money on other things, so I guess it all could have worked out. But frankly, I became more interested in running, and in this time when a lot of my other exercise and fixations have been changed, it seemed prudent to go with the flow and follow my interest and curiosity to running. I did check-ins over the past 4 weeks as I worked on the program. My goals were really just to get out there and do it, get my head right, and just put in the time and effort. So I'll let me tell you how it went. So I just finished my second run for Couch to 5K. I'm squinty, it's bright outside. It is early March in Pennsylvania, so the days have been a little bit rainy, but we're also getting some really warm days, which is helping with the program. I really like the Couch to 5K app. It's nice that you can listen to something. I'm a podcast listener, and you can still get the commands to run or walk for your intervals over top of that. It has been, I'd say, just challenging enough, like not so much that I don't feel like I can do it, but it's also not boring. I'm running outside around my neighborhood, so it's hilly, so I can definitely feel it in my calves and my ankles on the uphill. I think I need to invest in some newer, more supportive running shoes. I'm just using what I wear to like go to boxing class or whatever, and maybe they're a little older than they need to be, so something to think about investing in going forward. But so far it's been going really well, and I signed up for a race at the end of April, so I'm gonna try to do the sort of speed up the Couch to 5K. The app that I downloaded is set up for 8 weeks, and that would put me in finishing a week after the race. So I'm gonna try to run a few extra days in there to make up that week. But so far so good. This is my second week on my Couch to 5K program, and I'm doing okay. The runs continue to be challenging. Update wise, I did invest in some running gear. My feet, ankles, knees are hurting a little bit, so I thought about it and was like, let's be realistic. How old are these shoes that I'm running in that actually are not even designed to be running shoes per se? So I looked up, I wanted to go to a local shop instead of a big box store, and I decided on Fleet Feet, which is in West Reading, not too far from me. And they have a cool gizmo that will essentially map your feet, and then they make recommendations on shoes based on that. So because of my past athletic experience, my push foot, which is my right foot, is actually wider than my left foot. So that was interesting to know. They did recommend that I buy shoes about a full size larger than I would wear in like a standard shoe. I have very high arches, and then I also have like the top of my foot is higher than average. So based on that information, they made a recommendation of a couple different pairs of shoes, as well as a pair of inserts. I ended up going with these New Balances. These are the ones that felt the most comfortable for me. And I also did go with a pair of Currex high profile RunPro. So I'll link if anyone's interested in the New Balance. I will link to them in the description. They are, I don't know, it just says running course. It also says fresh foam, which is kind of a weird thing, but okay. They do feel fresh, and they feel a lot more structured, comfortable.
as opposed to I was wearing very low profile Nikes that were running shoes, but were more the kind where you can feel the ground grip a little more. These are definitely more cushioned. I do feel, especially on my heel and the ball of my foot, I feel a lot more better using these. And these are the Currex, the high profile inserts that I'm using, and it's supposed to be better for your hips, your knees, and your ankles, which all of those things could use support. So that has been good. I also did get some new socks that are supposed to prevent blisters. These are interesting. These are the No Blisters Feetures Elite Light Cushion with no tab. These are very comfortable socks. It's like they're stretchy on the top and then they're a little more cushioned on the bottom. These are also interesting. I've never had socks before that are, there's a left and a right. Okay. So far so good with those. They're supposed to have a lifetime guarantee. They're a little pricey. I mean, the whole kit and caboodle was a little pricey, but I figured if I'm gonna invest in something, why not my health and my joints? So I got those things. The only other thing I've purchased is I got an activity belt where it's, you know, it does have like a snap closure. Can we talk about why so few women's pants have appropriately sized, phone-sized pockets in them? It's a problem. So I do have two relatively new pairs of pants that I bought in January that do have pockets, which I appreciate. They're from Fabletics. One I like to run in because they stay put. The other does not stay put as well on me. So yeah, and those are the only ones. So I was using a really old fanny pack that my bulky phone does not fit in, and I would have to actually take the case off my phone in order to have it fit. So this has been really nice. It stays put, it's adjustable. I got it on Amazon Prime. Sorry for anyone who objects to Amazon Prime. For like under 10 bucks, and it's been great. So I do, like I said, feel like the exercises are challenging, and this is post-run. I definitely feel like I'm getting workout. It still feels reasonably doable. I feel really good when it's over. And I'm staying on track in order to try to get to the goal of being ready for a 5K in just a couple weeks, in 6-ish weeks. So yeah, there's my update. I'll link to all the gear that I described in the description if anyone's interested.
Hi, so it's the third week of my Couch to 5K efforts, and I just am back from a run where I got stuck in the rain. It was a really good run up to that point, and I guess I shouldn't say up to that point because the rain actually prompted me to do another circuit when I was just in my cool down. But we're in the midst of being in the lockdown due to the coronavirus pandemic. So the running, I've been outside a lot. I try to get exercise outside at least once a day, sometimes twice a day, to cope with kind of the anxiety of what's going on. So that's been really good for keeping me on the path with the Couch to 5K. I will report that this little sports pouch that I bought is in fact waterproof, so my phone still works, so I'm very grateful for that. The program has kind of been up and down. I've been having some pain in my right foot. Not really when I'm running as much. It's just I feel like I have to wear shoes all the time, even in the house now, which is kind of weird. Nothing undoable. Some days I feel great, some days not so much. Today was a pretty good day. The pandemic is kind of what's on everyone's mind, but just wanted to give a little update. Hi, I'm finishing out. This is my 4th week doing the Couch to 5K. I have great hair because I was just on a run with a hat on and it's really windy outside. Here, can you see it? Is my snack. Delicious. So I'm gonna make this quick because I really want to eat that snack and drink a bunch of water. Week 4 has been killer. Apparently we reached the part where my energy legs, whatever, are really tiring. So yesterday I took the day off and was working outside and carrying bags of cement and doing a bunch of work trying to start the beginning steps of beginning a fence in my backyard, and so I think my legs are just really fatigued today. I also have been trying to push myself to do more hills because I live in a very hilly neighborhood and I primarily plan on running outside, so I gotta learn to do this. I can't just, always just run on the flats. So I did try to push myself for the latter half of my run to run some not terrible hills, but not going great. So I'm not giving up, but it's just, today's kind of a tough day emotionally, and I know a lot of this is mindset and being emotionally ready to push myself and hang in there, and it's just for whatever reason we're still in the midst of a pandemic, so gotta grant yourself grace and do what you can. I definitely do feel better than I did prior to running. I'm glad I made myself my regular sort of noon lunchtime didn't work out because we had a crazy wind hailstorm kind of thing blow through the area, and it was interesting running around and kind of seeing there's a lot of limbs snapped off and a lot of debris blown around and stuff like that. So it's a really gusty day. I don't know if that had something to do with it or if I'm just making up reasons and it was just an off day. So I'm proud of myself that I went out there and did what I could today. And I'm excited to eat my snack. So that is all.
So in terms of a wrap up, I just wanted to kind of touch on all of the things that I feel like are my major takeaways from March's lifestyle experiment. First things first, I think like so much of life, running is mental. Showing up is half the battle. At least for me, you get what you put into it. And the first thing you have to do is just get there. If you get there, the rest of it, I'm not going to say it's not challenging. Running hills or various aspects aren't still going to be hard, but getting, your shoes on your feet and getting yourself out the door, for me, is the biggest part of it. Second takeaway I had is that I always felt like I ended up better mentally than where I started. Third takeaway I had is something that I've realized more and more the older I get. Good shoes are worth it. So that when it comes to running or just life in general, wear good shoes. Number 4, I would say, is that what you're listening to is crucial. I really like the app, the 5K Runner app by Fitness22 that I used. Allowed me to see ahead of time kind of what the runs were going to be like, how many runs, how many walks I was going to do. And I sort of like to know that going into it, knowing that if I was doing 4 runs, run walk intervals, 2 in the middle were going to be the hardest.
kind of helped me get in the right headspace for it. I would also say that having something you want to listen to as far as a podcast that you're looking forward to, or I would also use music. I created like a really upbeat, dancey playlist that really, I feel like, made me feel lighter, made me want to move, and I really enjoyed that as well. Number 5 for me, recommendations or takeaways would be like to start incrementally, like just focus on getting out there and getting in the groove of things first. But if you are rusty or don't have a lot of experience, it's worth just looking up some videos on tips for beginning runners. That helped me do some focus on things like making sure I was using good posture and keeping my head up, that I wasn't watching my feet. There were all sorts of recommendations for like how high up your head should be. I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to make those recommendations here, but I would encourage you to look into some of that. And as you get more comfortable, look for more of those technique-based things that can help. Like, again, there's debate as far as like what your body posture is supposed to be, hips forward, where your feet are supposed to be striking. The main gist that everybody said was make sure that your feet are striking under your body. That thinking about things like cadence can help you increase speed over time, instead of just focusing on just getting through, but also, it can help with your pace. So I'm not saying rush into thinking about so many things at once when you're first getting started, but as you get more comfortable, maybe start to, explore a little bit in those arenas as well. My next point would be to make sure that you are resting in between run days. Everybody comes from a different level of fitness or what you're accustomed to. I was trying at the outset to squeeze more run days into the week, and I was trying to push myself, and maybe a little harder than I was ready for initially. And it led to kind of some less enjoyable runs where, rest is an important part of training. So the app said it, and I would encourage you to do it, to listen to your body. And like, if you're just feeling really fatigued or tired, or you're kicking your butt in other forms of exercise, or have a really hard physical day one day, then give yourself a break before you go into your run the next day. So I always felt like my runs were better. I had a better time and was able to accomplish more if I allowed myself to be rested in between. Overall, I would say I'm really grateful for the focus and the perspective that this running program gave me. I've referenced kind of in the later weeks, as the situation grew more serious with regards to restrictions that are placed on travel. I'm in southeastern Pennsylvania, and we are not supposed to be traveling or really leaving our house unless it's essential. Like, I'm allowed to go outside on a run. I'm allowed to go to the grocery store when, we're out of things, but it's really for essential travel only. So all of my other social outings or exercise I was doing that I started in previous months with, boxing and skating and all of those things have been canceled. So running has really allowed me to focus on, that this is a temporary situation. Spent a lot of time and anxiety worrying about what the outcome is going to be with the pandemic. Am I doing the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? Feeling bad about not seeing family and friends and missing out on family stuff. So this is really, it's helped with the anxiety. It's given me perspective and something to look forward to beyond this. And it also has given me a chance, as a regular practice for 20 to 40 minutes, whatever that run is that day, to just be in the moment and be in my body and not have those intrusive thoughts coming in. So I've really appreciated it for that. And I would also say, it's something that I've done the Couch to 5K program, not this specific program, but other ones several other times in my life. So it's given me good perspective in terms of, that I have the ability to come back to something. And even if I've, lost ground in terms of my fitness, that I do have the ability to come back to it. So that's felt very hopeful. And I have to say that the best moment in some of the days in the past weeks that I've been running is when, the app tells you when you're at the halfway point. So just after the halfway point in your next run cycle, the little coaching voice on it says, "You've got this," or "You're doing this," something like that. And that's really, that is a trigger for good feelings for me. I always feel really proud that I got out there and did it on that day. And I know it's just a recorded voice. It has no idea if I've been walking this entire time or sitting and picking my nose. It doesn't know, but still, it's definitely a positive trigger for me. So that's given me something to look forward to, and a good feeling that I can experience on a regular basis, and also something I can think back and, recall when I need to think of a good moment. So as I had referred to, that my race that I was planning on attending, the Race Against Racism in Lancaster, at the end of April, unfortunately, the race itself, with all the people physically being there, has been canceled, but they are still allowing people to participate virtually. So I do still intend on the 25th of April to run that race and participate in that way, and share that with my friend who I had previously intended to run with. So it's good for me to have that deadline. The app that I'm using does allow you can repeat days. So on days where I felt like I wasn't able to run the whole time, or, I didn't finish the intervals to the letter, I had been repeating some of them, but I'm going to try to push myself to keep advancing. So not maybe cramming too many days in a week, but get myself to the point that I am pushing ahead, even if I don't complete it perfectly, so that I'm ready. I think they are allowing you to kind of do the virtual race over a couple days, so it doesn't have to be April 25th exactly, but my goal is to have that as a timeline, as a day that I am racing, regardless, so that there's sort of a milestone in place for that. And then we'll see where I go from there, if I want to push it on further and try to train towards 10K, or if I just want to hang out in that 5K range. Either one is fine. We'll see how I feel. Anyway, thanks for watching. I will link in the description to various products or stuff that I've mentioned. I would love to hear from you if you run. What are your tips? Are there any things looking back that you wish you had known when you were getting started? I'm totally open to that. I would also love suggestions of music, what gets you moving, or podcasts, if you listen to those, to add to my playlist.